Analog horror. What just comes to mind? The Walton Files, The Boiled One, Duck Broadcast, Dr. Nowhere, Urban Spook, or the Mandela Catalogs. While those are all major figures in the analog horror world, for better or for worse, none of them were the first analog horror. The first analog horror series was many, many years before even the Mandela Catalogs and the Walton Files. In 2014, a woman created Local 58. Now, if you just clicked on Local 58, you could imagine that Local 58 is just an average local news station in any small town in America. The lore behind it is that it started airing in 1938 in the small county of Mason County, a fictional county in West Virginia. But things quickly derail, physically and mentally. If you haven't watched Local 58 yet, here's a quick rundown. And before you say you missed some episodes, we're only talking about the ones from You Are on the Fastest Available Route to Real Sleep. As Real Sleep is dated to 1983, and Skywatching, their video afterwards, is dated to 1991, which is way off the timeline. And the second version with the new logo seems to be in digital transition, maybe 2000 to 2007, and then NSSA 3 clearly being older footage, while Close and Nightwalk both seem like they could come from the early 2020s, maybe 2023. So those are very clearly off my theorized early 1980s timeline, most likely 1983. Now, the first episode is called You Are on the Fastest Available Route. Warning, many spoilers. At the start is simply some dash cam footage of a man driving through a thunderstorm on the interstate, presumably I-77's Appalachia corridor, due to its proximity to Mason County. But the video quickly derails itself when the GPS tells him to take strange back roads and forests and turn off his headlights. In the middle of the woods, we see a weird thing in the distance. And then the driver starts running away, only for the camera to get left behind like it would have been in the Blair Witch Project. After this, we see Contingency, which appears to be a public program from the Department for the Preservation of American Dignity, stating that the U.S. has been invaded by foreign adversaries and that all Americans must commit suicide in order to protect the dignity of the United States, with ominous phrases like, "This message will repeat until there are none left to read it," and "Small pets and babies are the smallest patriots." Then, Local 58 stated that the message was a hoax. I guess it was supposed to be a drill from DPAD in case of a foreign adversary winning a war, but it doesn't really matter once the trigger was pulled. Then we got the third episode, Weather Service. Local 58's weather announcement was on a meteorological event that would make it unsafe for people to go outside and look at the sky. The Mason County Weather Service said that it is, in fact, safe for people to go outside and look at the sky, followed by a EAS telling all Mason County citizens to go outside immediately. All this before a clip of the moon coming close to Earth and screams in the background. The fourth, a shorter video, Station ID, was similar, stating only, "Look away. It does not matter. There are other receivers, safety in numbers." It then states that the frequency of Local 58 is 476 megahertz. The fifth episode, and possibly one of the more popular episodes, was A Show for Children. This one is a cartoon which is stationed at 4:15 a.m. called A Grave Mistake. It features the skeleton character named Cadaver walking into his own grave, and then the moon goes over him. Noticing a pattern? Video number 6 was titled A Look Back, and it has a message from an unknown group saying, "We send signals to ourselves through their domain. Did we really believe they wouldn't add their own?" The final video, and possibly the most infamous, is entitled Real Sleep. It originally seems to be a 1983 instructional video by the Thought Research Initiative on how to have the best sleep. Soon enough, the initiative goes through a process of trying to eliminate facial recognition from the viewer's minds, then bombarding you with subliminal messages like, "You owe the messenger." And that's the channel. That is all of Local 58's that fit into Season 1. Season 2 starts after Real Sleep, dated to 1991. So what does Local 58 give us messages about? It clearly gives us messages about sleep, the moon, and messages coming from outside of Local 58, such as The Flash in "You're on the Fastest Available Route," the U.S. Department for the Preservation of American Dignity's weird message, the Thought Research Initiative, and whoever's talking to us in A Look Back. A major theory I saw while researching Local 58, which can be credited to Matthew Patrick of the film theorists, is that there is messaging. It was the idea that the messaging is from aliens. Funny enough, in Station ID, it stated that Local 58 has a frequency of 476 megahertz. And we have seen unidentified radio signals from outer space of similar frequencies. In British Columbia, they've picked up fast radio bursts from far as light years away, and the lowest of the FRBs was 400 megahertz. Scientists couldn't explain these radio bursts. This leads us to think that aliens could use similar frequencies to get in touch and propagandize earthly television. We see this subversively in A Cartoon for Children, where the aliens tell Mason County children to look at the moon, like their favorite cartoon character, Cadaver, and directly in Weather Service, where they literally just tell you to go outside and look at the moon. This is confirmed in We Send a Message to Ourselves Through Their Domain in A Look Back. We also see them say that other people are messing it up, meaning that there is a clear conflict here. The scientists between the aliens between maybe scientists, maybe Mason County officials, or maybe even somebody at WCLV-TV, the people who run Local 58 in universe. Who knows what's going on? We see the humans and aliens directly fighting in Weather Service, where conflicting messages keep on fighting. Aliens telling you to look at the moon, Mason County officials, scientists, WCLV-TV, or whoever is opposing you telling you to stay inside. That leads us to the question, what do the aliens want? Why are they trying to talk to us? At the end of the day, Local 58 leaves a lot of questions unanswered. However, I believe the aliens are trying to kill off humanity from what I can tell. I think we see it first in Contingency, where the U.S. Department for the Preservation of American Dignity, or USDPAD is what I'm going to call it, releases the video calling on Americans to off themselves. However, this clearly wouldn't be from the department because the video was dated to 1970 at the height of Cold War nuclear strong-arming, but the earliest series of events could have happened was 1983, as this is when the Thought Research Initiative aired Real Sleep. So we can theorize that the aliens broadcasted the video onto Local 58 in order to attack American civilians, only for WCLV-TV to quickly take it off and declare it a hoax. Once the aliens learned they couldn't get to Mason County citizens to kill themselves, they pivoted to getting them to kill each other. That's when we see Real Sleep come in. And during the subliminal messaging section, we see the Thought Research Initiative's messages encouraging violence. The faces in Real Sleep are supposed to destroy your brain's perception of facial recognition and deprive you of sleep. What is something that happens once you don't sleep well? You become angry. And when you can't recognize pain in other people's faces, you inflict more of it. When all of the Mason County watches Real Sleep, they all start to get angry. They lose empathy, and then what happens? They fight each other. Potentially kill each other. All of this, children's show and weather alerts being propagandized, GPS trying to derail humans, destroying facial recognition, and even fake governmental warnings, all point to a concerted effort from possibly aliens to possibly exterminate the human race, or at least Mason County for some reason. Local 58 founded analog horror. It started the whole genre and is one of, if not the most consequential YouTube horror series in history. But it's also one of the most complex. It's hard researching Local 58 because there's so much conflicting things to tell you. There's the USD Pad, the Thought Research Initiative. There's so many conflicting things. I hope you found my theory interesting. Thank you to Matt Pat from the Film Theorists. He helped out a lot with this theory. Thank you all for watching. I encourage you to go subscribe, or I encourage you to go check out Sebi's launch day video about Mothman. I thank you all, and I'll see you all in the next one. Oh, really? Like, you know.